like w. In Hebrew, it is known as vav. But when the Greeks adopted the alphabet from the Phoenicians, they split this one letter into two. They called the original letter digamma because for them it looked similar to gamma, but had an extra line. Hence, it was a double gamma, or digamma. It was eventually dropped from the Greek alphabet, but it stayed on in the Latin alphabet and became our letter F. But the Greeks also added a slightly different version of the digamma to the end of their alphabet and called it upsilon. Remember that the Greeks added vowels to the alphabet, and this letter was one of their vowels, something close to what we call the vowel U. However, in the Latin version of the alphabet, this letter was split into V and Y, and the letter V ended up playing several roles at once. Sometimes it was a vowel, like in Julius, but sometimes it was a consonant, like in the word valens, which means strong, although the Romans would have pronounced it closer to wallens. Eventually, the letter came to look like our U, but it continued to do the work of both U and V, as well as sometimes W, all the way up until the invention of the printing press. At that point, it was split into U and V, and then eventually a W was added as well, which strange W, all the way up until the invention of the printing press. At that point, it was split into U and V, and then eventually a W was added as well, which strangely actually often looks more like a double V.
First of all, the alphabet. Any of you that have ever learned your ABCs are really learning something from the Romans. We didn't make up the alphabet. The English didn't make up the alphabet. The Romans made up the Latin alphabet. And this Latin alphabet is used throughout the world today. In fact, this map here shows us where the Latin alphabet is either the official script or a co-script. And then even in other countries like China, Japan, countries in the Middle East like Saudi Arabia and Israel, they still learn the Latin alphabet even if they don't use it officially. Think about scientific names. No matter what language you're writing in, you are writing in Latin. So even in Russia, where they don't use the Latin alphabet in their official correspondence, they still learn about it in schools. So the Romans have influenced us with their alphabet, which is part of the reason why we spell things so weird. Like you think about caution, T-I is sh. How is that? Well, that's what happens when you have a borrowed alphabet. If you learn Russian or Greek or a language like that where they actually based it around their own alphabet, it makes a lot more sense. But since we borrowed an alphabet, we kind of have to make do with it. But the Romans have given us the alphabet that is still used throughout the world today. The classical Latin alphabet was actually a little bit shorter than the one we have now. We have 26 letters in today's alphabet. The Romans only had 23. As you can see here, there is no J, there is no U, and there is no W. You see here, there is no J, there is no U, and there is no W. U's would be written as. You can see here, there is no J, there is no U, and there is no W. U's would be written as V's. Now, Indiana Jones found out about this the hard way, almost lost his life, because in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, he thought, well, Jehovah, the name of God, well, that starts with a J, right? Wrong. Click that clip right there if you'd like to watch it for yourself. Hopefully you've seen the movie already and you know what I'm talking about. Then we have the Latin language. Now you may say, okay Richie, Latin's a dead language. Everyone knows that. Well yes, strictly speaking, Latin is a dead language in the sense that nobody speaks it to each other today. I know a few Latin words, but I couldn't have a conversation with you in Latin. Unless you are in the Vatican, you probably don't use the Latin language that much in just correspondence and such. But you use the Latin language all the time. That although Latin is a dead language, it is still used. If you look here, here is a list of all kinds of English words that are derived from Latin. Just going to scroll down real quick, like it would take me a long time to go over these individually. There you go. We could really stop in just about any place and see. But even in the English language, which isn't directly based on Latin, like the Romance languages of French and Spanish and Italian, we still have a lot of words that come from Latin. So even though we don't speak Latin, the Romans still influence us today through the Latin language. Laws.